Can you hear my voice? Coming through the noise. I'm floating through outer space. I'm lost and I can't find a way. Oh, all the lights going dark and my hopes destroyed. Help me, is anybody there? Save me, I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. It's so dark out here in space. And it's been so long since I've seen a face. My eyes are shut but I can see the void between you and me. And I feel like I'm going insane. Help me, is anybody there? Save me, I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Far from the sun, beyond stars, I hear their song. They're coming closer, talking without sound, calling me home. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Save me, I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air.
Hello there. I hope you guys are having a better day than I am. I have had one heck of a day, but let's get this party started. It's Monday. It's definitely a Monday. Let's get. Hi. All right. Well, so far, at least we don't have anybody on there. I'm so upset. My kids have killed Rudolph. You are a bad girl. Yeah, she's a bad girl. She ripped off his ear, ripped off his nose, and well, at least he's repairable. Seriously, what are you doing to him? Poor little Rudolph. You killed him. You killed Rudolph. We're gonna have a dead earless Rudolph in the back corner as we are doing this. So, sorry, I took my sweatshirt off because I was just dying. I was really hot. So let's get this party started. Let's get going. Hello, hello, hello. I was trying to give a few people a little room to get in here. And my Google didn't listen to me and turn my light back on. So maybe the other light will come back on in a moment. Let's play a little bit of. Oh, that's loud. All right. I guess Google's not going to turn my other light on. Hey, Google, can you turn on the studio light, please? No, Google doesn't want to turn on the studio light. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Right now, who knows? We will just guess. Oh, hey there, Google finally turned it on. So do you see my cute little tree back here? This is our family tree. So is that his paw?
Part of his antler, I think.
Oh, this is his antler. So I've got an antler to sew back on, an ear to sew back on, and to stuff him a little bit more because he is stuffless because he's got a broken neck now. Yeah, they totally killed that poor little guy. So anyway, do you see my cute little tree back here? This is our family tree. So all the ornaments that Steve has collected over the years, I've collected over the years that are from our families, we put on that tree because if any of you have seen some of the lives that I did do with our tree, you can go back and look at Facebook or whatever because I did do a live with our tree. I will post pictures later, but our tree is themed every year. So we have a whole set of Victorian, and then we have a set that is silver and blue, and that's one of my pillows. Because we have now done Lady Knocker's Corners Christmassy. So, but anyway, enough of that. Let's get to what we're going to do tonight on our show. And most of our show is going to be in the art room. I have watched a couple videos of people doing some stuff with water slides besides what it's meant for. So I am going to do an attempt. The designs have been already prepped, and I am going to see if I can do what one of the other ones that I watched. We'll see if we can make it happen, but we're going to try. And it's to put a picture on a canvas. And I've got two different ways we're going to try it. And then I'm going to try it again on a completely clean canvas because the two pictures, I learned some things. So we'll talk about that when we get into the studio. But again, I'm going to give you a little information, what to do about Lady Knocker so you can watch Lady Knockers. Check it out. Okay, so I am back in here. I am in the art room. I'm sorry, I don't mean to yell. I was trying to get his attention because he was in there and switching cameras for me. So, all right, so what we have here is we have a picture that we are going to attempt to put. Now this one is not prepped and ready. This is plain, just printed paper. So if you were able to see my dry rack over here, which is next to me, this one here has been prepped, and this one here has been prepped. So what I mean by prepped is you have the spray. Whoop, hold on. My apologies, everybody. I thought I brought the spray in here so you could all see it, but I did not. My failure. So you use the crystal clear, which I use crystal clear, Krylon. It's really kind of up to your preference. So I do 3 coats of that on here. 3 coats of that. Do the first coat, let it dry. Do the second coat, let it dry. Do the third coat, let it dry. We got a new boom mic, so we're checking the sound on that. So I hope you can hear me okay. Also, sweetheart, can you do me a favor? Can you look in the wash stuff in that bathroom, the art bathroom, and see if I left my squeegee in there? Okay, so you do 3 coats. You do 1 coat, let it dry. Do another coat, let it dry. Do a third coat, let it dry. After that, then you are going to put this Plasti Dip glossifier on there, which I don't know who found this trick or who was able to find that trick, but it's an amazing trick. So it's supposed to allow it to expand. So what I did learn, and what I'm going to tell you to do, because I am not going to give this to my son. Absolutely would not give this to my son and my daughter-in-law. But as you can see, there's a hair right there. There's scratches here where I pulled out another hair. There's scratches here where I pulled out another hair. There's a circle there where it dripped. And there is dog hair randomly all over it. So what I did learn is don't go in and spray these when you're wearing a sweatshirt with dog hair on them. But we're going to put them on anyway because these are the test. Because this is a canvas I bought. I just liked the size of the canvas, and I didn't want to order them last minute. So I did go over to the dollar store, and I bought this from the dollar store. I prepped this one. I prepped with Mod Podge. The other one that we're going to use, which is also from the dollar store, I did not prep this one at all because I wanted to see if these would work without prepping it or with prepping it. How do you find out if something works? You just have to do it. So, so needless to say, that one is prepped, and this one is not prepped. So we are going to put the more colorful one on this square. Now, obviously, it's bigger than the picture. So that, again, that's why I am not going to save this one, because you're going to see those lines on the backing and on the side. So I'm going to see how this does in these 2 ways. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do on and what I have here is I have lukewarmish water. And again, even in my pan right now, which I'm not worrying about, I'm not going to go and clean it off or anything like that, is I see dog hair. It is filled with dog hair. So I'm not going to really do much of anything about the dog hair because, like I said, this is a test one, so I don't really care. But if I were planning to keep this, I would definitely be a lot pickier about it. So I'm going to take this off because it's going to be a lot harder to work with that on, even though I need it on right now. So I fell today, tripped over something, and so you put this face down. Oops, I almost didn't do it face down. So you don't want it to curl, so I'm going to keep my hands on it, and you want to just have it in here for a couple minutes or a couple seconds, however long it takes for it to start moving off the paper. That's all you want to do. And I'm not doing anything else to this canvas. Now, the girl who did this that I watched, she didn't do anything to prep the canvas. No Mod Podge or anything, but it was a fresh canvas. It wasn't a used canvas. This one, I'm putting a white background on here, or clear. So, of course, I want the center where the picture is. I would like to not have, okay, it's starting to move off of there. She also uses warm water because she thinks it moves better. So now the way she did this, it's not wanting to move off the edge, but it wants to move off everything else. So I'm just going to pull that because the edge does not seem to want to move. Okay, and she didn't put any water or anything on the canvas at all. So with the glossifier, it's supposed to allow this to move with it. So we're going to put this where we want it. Now I want this to be, now you have to be real careful with the canvas, she said, because it'll stick right to the canvas. So you don't want to take off very much. You want to take off just a little bit to find your placement. So now I'm going to find my placement of where I want her to be. And I want her to be as centered on this as I can have her be. So let's see where that center looks the best. And again, we're starting our show at 7 instead of 8 o'clock from now on. So now she has you go over the edge and just get it in place. And then you just want to hold. Now, I don't know if this one's going to stick on here or not. I have no idea if it's going to stick. We will be checking this to see. Now you have to move it kind of from the edge to the edge. That's what she explained. And I can see a giant dog hair right there, which I'm not liking. Beautiful. Luckily, the person I'm making this particular one for, she has an army of dogs. So she loves her dogs. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out. You don't have a lot of play on this once you get it on the canvas from what I'm seeing. But I don't know that it's working quite as well as she said. I don't know if that's because of this canvas being painted on, because I am not liking how this is pulling. We're going to get this up on the top better. Now, again, this is just a practice canvas. I'm not planning on saving this canvas and giving this to her as a gift. This one is strictly for me. Let's hope I can keep that in there. This one is going to be just for testing purposes to see how well it comes out on a painted canvas. That's all this is for. And I will tell you that I don't know that that paint is, or that spray is the best spray for this paper, because that spray itself is not holding the coloring. Am I not talking loud enough?
No.
Okay. I have to talk louder, apparently. See, so it's not supposed to tear, it's supposed to stretch, but I'm not seeing that happening with this canvas. And it definitely is leaving lines in it. But again, this could be because this canvas is painted, and she said she did not do anything with the canvas. Now there's glitter on this one. This one's a mess. but it's a great way. I rather do something with something I'm not super worried about keeping than something that I absolutely am going to keep. So it definitely does not stretch. This is supposed to make it stretch, and I put at least 4 coats on it. So I know I put more than she had said, and she said more is better. Just don't do less than 3. And I know that I did at least 4. But for myself, I would say it's not so bad. She also said that once you get it on there, it is going to dry, and you're gonna get all the little wrinkles in there. She said would come out. I mean, for the most part, I got it nice and straight, and you can start seeing that the canvas is coming through the image, including the glitter. So, and I don't have it as level as I would have liked. I didn't take my time to make this nice and sharp and clean because, again, with the dog hair and everything else, I'm not being as picky with this. But overall, I mean, I would say it's a good hack, and it's a good thing for somebody who's not. I wouldn't do this for a client. Now, once I try, and I'm going to do one probably off camera because it's going to take a lot of work to make sure it's nice and sharp and clean and long and can stretch. I will try this again on another sheet, on an 8x10, up and down, because this was harder because it was a square and it was this angle. But we will see how this turns out on the next one, because the next one, like I said, oh, I need to get that paper out of there. The next one is going to be on a canvas without the paint. And it's not paint. I did paint. I put 1 or 2 coats of white paint. Let that completely dry each time. And then I put and then after that, I put the, see, and I can see some bubbles in there. And now I don't know if she was able to, when I watched her video, she was able to stretch it right away. And she said all these wrinkles and stuff would come out. So we will, tomorrow's show, I will leave this to sit. And then tomorrow's show, we will see how well it looks day 2. So that's how we'll do with that. So I'm going to just set this aside where we can still somewhat see it. And we are going to work on our other one. So our other one, remember, we are going to do, and the reason I'm practicing these is because I plan to actually make these and give these as gifts. But I wanted to see how they worked first. And I wanted to see what size they will work on before I go and do this. So this picture size works well for this set, but again, it doesn't fit. The sheet is at 8.5 by 11, but the block is an 8.5, so it's definitely not an 8.5 by 11 sheet. It's a 8 3/4 or an 8 1/4. I mean. So we are gonna go ahead and put this one in water. We're gonna see how it comes out. Again, I sprayed this one several times. I did the same process. I followed the process that I had watched her do, and it did not. I mean, it looks the same as the last one, and that did not stretch by any means at all. So we will see how this one does, if this one's going to or not. Because that was the whole point of why it worked well on her canvas, is that it stretched and it was able to stretch over it. Now, I have in the past, and I may do it with these, doing the sizes that I want. I may make my own custom canvas. And all I do when I make a custom canvas is I buy the 8x10 like I have, making them smaller. And these are not with wood. These are from the dollar store, these ones. But I would take the 8x10 And I open the one side and the other side and the bottom, and then I cut the piece to get it to the size I want it to be at. And then I okay, so this is ready. It's definitely moving. Okay. So then I cut it to the size I want it to be. And I am going to put that back in the water real quick, and I'm going to get this. I need to clean my Lazy Susan here has too bloody much. Yeah, see, this definitely doesn't stretch. It might stretch if maybe I did something wrong, but it just tore. Just trying to get it ready. So being that is the case, I am going to do myself a favor, and I am going to grab a pair of scissors, and I am going to cut this edge off underneath, not on top. I'm just gonna fold that over real quick, and I'm sorry if I'm talking quietly. I don't mean to be, but I'm gonna. Oh, this doesn't cut very well. I don't think it's meant to be cut when it's wet. Who knows? Okay, so we're going to cut that off. That way it's out, and we can have the place where we're going to do our placement. Because I know where I want this, and I want it to pretty much stay in that place once we get it there. Got long hair and a dog hair. Now, forgive me, I'm always have dog hair, so I'm always fighting the dog hair thing because we have 3 dogs, 4 if you count our daughter sits over here all the time, and then so we have lots of dogs, and we have I am definitely a dog person. So another person was talking about how your design won't show up on the canvas if you have a white on the clear background. And I'm not getting this placement where I want it to be. There, that works. So I kind of like this over this design, but you definitely can't put it over a design because their pictures come out pretty clear. So if you want to use a used canvas, you would have to paint that or Mod Podge it or something to try to even make it usable. I don't think I would ever do this again on a canvas with stuff on the canvas, just because I don't think it comes out as clear, and there's leaves in their face. So I definitely don't like the placement of that. So I'm actually going to pull it up, and I'm going to go up higher to try to get the love at the very top and try to get the leaf to not be in my granddaughter's and my daughter-in-law's face. Even though I'm not keeping this to use, I still want to see how this works, and it would still be nice for it not to look like complete garbage when it's done. So on the hack level, I'm not saying it's the best, but again, we're putting it over a canvas that has been painted on and something done on the canvas in advance. So we don't know how this would be. Oh, there's a nice big giant hair in there. So we're going to see if we can get that out of there. Got it. My son and his wife, Kristen's beautiful family with my granddaughters, Faye and Charlie, and just adore them. Haven't been able to see them since COVID, but hopefully this won't last much longer. So I definitely would say for those, and I did this for a purpose, for anybody trying to save a little bit of money and use a already done canvas, because I use the already done canvases for all sorts of stuff. But I would definitely say it's not good for water slide, because it will have your image will come through. Now, another girl had a hack for water slide where you take the water slide, and this one does not want to stick to this canvas at all. So I'm assuming that that's because of whatever's on this canvas, but does not want to stick to it at all. But again, I wanted to try this before I had, so I at least moved it up a little bit. Still not very good, but it definitely does not stick to this canvas, probably because there's a design on it. The other one did stick with the Mod Podge on, so it is actually sticking on there. So I would say if you're gonna have to do this, painting it and putting Mod Podge on, you might be able to do okay. And as you can see, it is starting to adhere to the canvas shape and the canvas look, and starting to look like a canvas. And looking at it straight on, it doesn't look bad, except for with the lighting behind it, I can still see the never grow up. So I can still see it under there with some light, but if it's on the wall, you could barely see it if you wanted to do that. So I guess you'd have to do a couple more coats. I only did two coats of paint, acrylic white paint, and then I did like 2 or 3 coats of Mod Podge. So you'd probably have to really do it up to get it to stay. And then, like I said, this one, because I didn't pre-treat the canvas with anything, it does not stay at all. So you would have to tape that inside. This does have a little bit of flexibility, but not very much. So I'm assuming I did not do enough of the glossifier, and maybe I did too much of the crystal clear. So I'm going to say these are a no-go. I can use them for the other stuff that I do for a paint pour, which I will probably do with these, because this one I'm actually going to take off, because I know, unfortunately, that did not work, and I don't think it can be saved to go on anything. It is not good. But oh, the hack that somebody else was talking about. So you see how you're putting this, it's kind of, they turn out more white. They're very, very see-through. As you can see there, they're very see-through, even though their colors are on there. Once they're down, you can see them. But they put a background of whatever color the background is, and then spray paint it white before going on the glasses. So that might be something that could be done for the canvas as well. I will probably try that and see how it turns out and see how it comes out. Here I said I was going to take it off, and now I'm kind of fixing it. I guess in my head, I was like, I can't just crumble it up and throw it in the trash. That's my family. But it's not gonna survive on here. I am gonna just leave it sitting on here and just see if it adheres to it on its own, even though I tore it and it's showing that it's not gonna adhere at all. But I might as well just let it sit and see. Now it does have a little bit more pliability. When you're pushing out the air bubbles, it does have a little bit more pliability than normal without the glossifier. But I'm going to say I probably would only do 3 very thin coats of the crystal clear acrylic coating, or any of your other coatings that you use, and then I would do the Plasti Dip, and the way that she said. I will link that video in my description, so you can see what we're talking about. Sorry, I'm trying to get my screen to come back on. But I will go ahead and list her video in there so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna probably send her a message, see if she answers me, and say, this is the issue that I had. But I'm not going to do that until I do it on a plain canvas and see how it meant. And I was going to do that today on a plain canvas, but I forgot to prep the third picture at all. So we know it wouldn't work at all because we didn't prep that with any kind of clear coating. So at all. So the paint would just come right off. But you can see their faces. You can see them. And if you wanted to use this for something, you could still use it for something, even with the background on there. I mean, they do have leaves and stuff, so it just kind of looks like a little addition there. But I will leave this sitting on here and see if it finds a way to adhere itself, and I will just leave it alone. What I'm probably going to do is I'll do right now is I'm just going to trim off the edge completely. I'm just going to follow it. It's hard to hold. Let me get my hand in there. Oh, this doesn't cut very well either. No, it just wants to tear. Well, that's good. That's good. Good thing that this was a test cycle and not something I was really, really attached to and couldn't wait to do and was going to mail it out tomorrow. No. This was a test to see how it comes out, and then the plan is to get it sent off. I'm actually going to see how this works. Provided it works well, then I was going to get these put in the mail. But I'm doing the one like this that has the two of them with the two girls, and then they have one that has each of the girls have their own picture, and one with them with I didn't see one with the just the two of them. But anyway, I'm going to see how they all come out on a regular canvas, and we will test that out. And once we do that, then we will see how this works. But I think I'm going to have to trim my canvas down because I like this square picture, and I think I'm going to have to make it to where my canvas, the full canvas edges as well, because generally you wrap in, and there's plenty here to wrap the sides. I'll have to bring the love down, but I'll be able to wrap it because his foot will go over here, her foot will go over here, their knees will go down here, and the love we'll probably put down in here. But anyway, that is how you do it and the way she explained it, and it did not come out quite the way I wanted it to. It's coming out much better on the one that was prepped with the Mod Podge and prepped with paint before the Mod Podge, minus all the glitter, especially since she was a Marine. I think this one you could pass. This one you could pass. I would probably put a little bit more Mod Podge on, and I would probably put a little bit more paint to make sure that you couldn't see through it. But anyway, let's get back to the studio, and in the studio we will finish up the show, and then we'll be out of here. Thanks, guys. See you in a minute. talking to no one. Apparently, I never turned my mic on. So sorry, people. Hello, back again. Um, so what I was saying is, do you see my tree and my stuff? Yes, I got most of my Christmas is finished being decorated. Outside's done, living room's done, coffee bar's done, guest bathroom is done, the studio is done, and I still have to finish my dining room area and my kitchen, but that's all that I have left, thank God. And down the hall. Most of that's still been done though. But we're almost completely finished, except for I now have to repair poor Rudolph that's been murdered. So we will have to see if we can resuscitate him and bring him back to life. So anyway, my husband decided, and that's why I'm so tired and hot and stressed and hurt because I fell over a wine thing in the art room, because my husband's like, well, we really need to move your art table, because we had the art table blocked right in front of our big laser machine. We have a giant laser machine, not that Glowforge you see on Facebook or whatever, but we have a giant, huge machine and for doing laser. And he said, your table is right in the middle of that, so we need to move that and put your table over to the side, but my desk and the computer and all that stuff was going to be blocked. So we had to, that sucker's heavy and big. And so and then we had another cabinet that I have material and stuff stored in. And we had to unhook that from the wall, because that one is attached to the wall. So we had to move that and move it down, and then move the other one down, which actually gave me a nice storage section in that corner, and then move the art table over. And then now we can get to the laser, so we can use it all the time instead of having to move everything out of the way to get to the laser. So we literally destroyed the art room today completely in order to do that. So that's one of the reasons why there wasn't a second camera in there, and why I'm so tired, and why I hurt myself, because I tripped and fell over a wine. I have one of those wine racks, little ones that you can have on the floor or whatever at somebody's house. Well, they're really not popular anymore. So I'm going to be doing some hot glass stuff in the spring and summer. And I'm going to turn that into a lighting fixture instead of a wine rack, because most people don't even use those anymore. That's why you can find them for like $1 at the thrift store. So anyway, we have like 10 minutes left. And if anybody is messaging, I don't have my messengers on. But if you have some art ideas, or you've seen something done and you want me to try it and do hey, this does work, or hey, this doesn't work. Cause like, granted, I did use the already used canvases that were printed on. So I want to see how it's going to work on a regular canvas, but I always try the shit way first, and then I do the way that you should do it, because if it works on the cheap end way, you don't have to remake the canvas or go buy more expensive canvases if it can work from a dollar store. Plain, or not plain canvas, but already have a design on it. The one did work as long as you paint it, and as long as you put some Mod Podge on it. I think the Mod Podge is probably what saved that canvas to be able to be used for that. But I probably would, in the future, I would probably prep it a little bit more so you can't see the design at all underneath of it. And I would not use the one that already has a design on it and leave the design. I think that was a fail right there. But I'm going to try a few different things and a few different ways of doing this and see how things come out until you find the perfect way of doing it. You kind of have to do the the try first and come up with some different ideas of how to do something before you come up with the final, perfect solution isn't always the perfect solution. So we were literally trying to get cameras rehooked back up 5 minutes before I needed to be on air. So we hurried up and we got at least 2 cameras. He did get the third camera. Yeah, because I do have a third camera because he did get this camera hooked up. But right now, yeah. Oh, so you can see the Christmas decorations over here. So we did get Lady Knocker's corner is all nice and Christmassy. It's got a Christmas blanket on the couch and then some Christmas pillows. And then we have our family Christmas tree, like I talked about at the beginning of the show. So we do have, it's a lot of work to get stuff done when you're trying to get art projects done. And then you decide in the middle of it to destroy the whole art room and start over from scratch. Well, it wasn't completely from scratch, but it looked an awful lot like the day I did the whole art room and I had just piles of stuff all over the floor everywhere. And I was trying to organize and get everything put in place and get it done. And I have a severely bad back and I have degenerative disease in my back. So when I end up where I'm hurting, I literally told my husband I was working in my art chair and I said, could you get me a better wheelchair, please? Because this one doesn't go up and down or get me in places that I want to be. But I get to a point where I cannot walk at all. So it was a pretty rough afternoon, but we got it done. We got it done in time. And the most important part, if you're trying to build something, is to be there. Be there consistently. So I was still here. It was 7:00, like I said it was going to be. Last week on Friday, I said every day, Monday through Friday, will be at 7:00 now, 7 to 8:00. And we have 8 minutes before we are out of here. And I can start prepping for tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to start prepping by going to bed because I'm in a lot of pain and I'm going to take some Advil or some Tylenol PM or something and see if I can go to sleep because I am hurting quite a bit. But we were able to practice and work on the idea that we had of the canvas. We will see how those turn out. I will again show you tomorrow how they did. And if it just comes right off, then we know what not to do. And we're going to prep the canvas or the picture a little bit differently and see if it works by making sure I only do 3 thin coats of the clear and 3 coats of the glossifier. And we will see how that turns out. If those don't work on a regular plain canvas, then we know we have a little bit bigger problem. So we will see how that works out and we will check it out tomorrow. And I do want to do another one. And I have a couple other projects that I have to get done this week as well. And we do have a paint pour that we have to do of red, gold, and green. And we will see how that works out. We're going to do some more snowflake ones because I had some requests for snowflakes. So we're going to do that. But we will see how they all turn out. And hopefully it will turn out really, really good. And we will be excited to see how those play out. We only have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to go now and say goodbye. And I'm going to leave you with a little song here, and we will see you all tomorrow. Good night. Oh my God.